It sprawls across the Delaware countryside. At this place, a perfectly fine Sunday ride can, in the blink of an eye, become a white-knuckled plunge into utter chaos as the monster exacts his toll from those who dare challenge it. The reaction time necessary is beyond the realm of human frailty. The price is paid instantly and without ceremony. It is a place where even the greatest drivers in the world become mere riders on a lightning-fast white concrete roller coaster. The wheel in their hands a mockery of control. The pedals at their feet useless. The impact devastating. The Monster Mile. It plays no favorites. It's a place where best friends can quickly face off in anger, where men wrestle with their dark sides, where even the victor loses a little piece of himself, where victory stands an eye blink away from utter defeat. Well, the tease said it all. If you don't have shivers getting set to start a race here at Dover Downs International Speedway, well, there's something not quite right. And the race fans have come in record numbers. The MBNA Platinum 400 is on the agenda today, live here on TNN Motorsports. Hi again, everybody. Eli Gold. Welcome once again to the Monster Mile. We're just about an hour outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we are set to go racing in the most competitive form of motorsports in the world. As you see, the field now beginning to roll off the pit lane here at the Monster Mile, Dover Downs International Speedway. Why don't we take a look at the starting lineup for today's event? Rusty Wallace, his second pole of the year, had one at Bristol, and Jeff Gordon, his seventh straight Dover start in the top three. Mark Martin won Dover's first 400-miler last fall, and Dale Jarrett has not finished 5 of his last 7 Dover races. Defending race champion Ricky Rudd, and Joe Nemechek, who was 6th a week ago. And how about Rick Mast, buddy? Great qualifying effort for the Remington team.
This team right here is very quick. They were on the pole at Rockingham. They have the car. They just need some real good racing luck.
There's late speed, Jeremy Mayfield. Currently second in points. Veteran Dick Trickle and Johnny Benson, 7 top 10 finishes in 1998. Pennsylvania's Jimmy Spencer. John Andretti is here. And Terry Labonte, think about it, Dick Berggren. Nearly 40 starts here. He's never won at Dover.
Seems hard to believe, doesn't it? But
yeah,
he's strong here as well.
Buckshot Jones in the 8 car. He's replaced Hud Strickland. Michael Waltrip and Ted Musgrave, 21st and 22nd starters. Robert Presley and Bill Elliott with 4 Dover wins. As Steve Burns told you, Kenny Schrader hasn't won anywhere since he won here in 1991. Jeff Bodine, who was the fastest second-round qualifier. I'm not counting out Kyle Petty. Something about he and Dover that has always worked well.
He says he runs this racetrack exactly the same way he ran it the first time he ever saw it in 1980. But whatever, he is fast here. He had 2 top 5s in 1998, 7, both of them right here.
You saw Derek Cope. He won here in 1990. Dave Marcus, his 50th Dover start here today. Gary Bradbury and Bobby Labonte, last spring's pole winner, starts 36th today. Jeff Burton, 3rd place last year, and Bobby Hamilton. Those in on provisionals: Chad Little, Randy LaJoy. Steve Grissom is 8th provisional of the year. Kevin LePage, and like Dave Marcus, for Darrell Waltrip, his 50th consecutive Dover race. Field forming up for the start here at the Monster Mile. The AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. There you see the important numbers here today on a racetrack that is banked 24 degrees. And the Ford track description gives you all of those details, buddy. It really is like a roller coaster ride.
It is that. It's a 1-mile oval, and you can see the length of the straightaways, 24-degree bankings in the corner. 9 degrees on the straightaways. That gives you absolutely nowhere to go when something happens in front of you. You turn the wheel to miss a guy, down the road you go into the inside wall.
That Ford track description brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealers who ask if you have driven a Ford lately. There's Randy LaJoy. He'll be carrying our cameras around the racetrack, still subbing for the injured Ricky Craven. The Exide Ford for Jeff Burton. Rich Bickle still subbing for the ailing Greg Sachs. Bill Elliott kind enough to allow us to ride along with him today and the McDonald's team. Rick Mast, great qualifying effort as we mentioned. And in third spot, Mark Martin, always bringing us the rides around the racetracks. Our friends at Meritor also will be bringing you the onboard telemetry a bit later on. Meritor, the former Rockwell International, and they are part of our telecast here today, and we are so happy you are as well. Those grandstands now 114 feet high. That's like an 11-story tall building as they keep adding and adding more seats here at Dover Downs. So we're set to go racing. Kick back and enjoy this Sunday with us.
You ready? You ready? Ready? Green flag, green flag, green flag, green flag.
Good, clean start. Rusty Wallace leading at Dover for the 15th race that he has managed to get to the point.
But that's the first time he's led here at Dover since they concreted this place. He was doing ever so well, leading race after race. They put the concrete down. He hasn't led until just now.
And the 5 points that he gets for leading a lap, that's very important. Near the end of the year, that can add up to hundreds of points for guys that lead nearly every race.
Jeff Gordon trying to push him through the corner, it seems.
But Gordon searching up and down this early in the race.
Already the tail end of the field is only about a half lap from being lapped.
Here comes Jeff Gordon on the inside. Rusty shuts the door on him going down into turn 1.
Remember, buddy, you showed the folks in the pre-race show how you make these passes. Here is the classic example again.
There it is. You see, make the low line there work. Here comes Mark Martin along. Rusty Wallace dropping back through the field right now. They got position on the inside. The preferred line right now, the quickest line, is the bottom of the racetrack.
So Jeff Gordon for the 7th straight Dover race is leading. And look at Rusty Wallace going backwards.
He's stuck upstairs and they're just putting him away. Gordon's driving a car they call Butthead today. That has won. That's the name of it. It's right on the dashboard. He's won 2 out of his 3 Winston Cup point races this year in that car.
Riding with Jeff Burton, he has gone all the way to the back of the field. Only Darrell Waltrip is behind him right now as he tries to challenge Kevin LePage for 41st spot.
Eli, you can see the bottom groove has a lot more rubber in it. The higher groove up there is much grayer, does not have the grip that the bottom part of the racetrack has.
There goes LePage around Dave Marcus, and he'll bring Burton along with him if Jeff can get on the button there.
Good to see Marcus in the program today. He's had trouble making the shows in 1998, but Dover is one of his best racetracks. Qualified 5th for this race last year.
There's
Rusty.
the move for Rusty right there as he'll grab the 7th spot from Ernie Irvin. The leaders are already 1 4/10 seconds ahead of 3rd place Dale Jarrett. But we'll watch this scramble right here for 7th. It is a good one. You've got Kenny Irwin also closing in behind Ernie Irvin. There is Kenny right behind.
Eli, it's very, very early in the race right now. They're already talking to the pit crew. When we make a stop, this car is pushing or it's loose. You start talking to your crew, setting up what you're going to do miles and miles on down the way as to what will make the car run better all day.
Glenn, is Rusty Wallace talking to the crew at all?
Yes, he is, Eli. He told Robin Pemberton, the crew chief, that the car was just a little bit loose right now. That's why he didn't want to take any chances getting back down in traffic. They just told him to ride it out. 400 miles, a long, long way here. Makes for a long day. Got plenty of time to adjust it.
This is only the second 400-miler ever run at this track. We've run 500 milers most recently, though they opened up in 1969 with some 300 milers as Rusty works his way to the inside of Nemechek to grab 6th spot. And caution now, midway of the backstretch, that is Johnny Benson.
On the bottom.
Oh, and he gets tagged to the inside as Kyle Petty had nowhere to go. And here comes Robert Presley. There's Randy LaJoie. The 97, that's Chad Little. That backstretch, folks, 10 feet narrower than the turns. And when it blocks like that, buddy, you're just out of luck.
You're absolutely correct. And you can see even the straightaway is banked almost like turns at other places.
You okay?
So when you start sliding, you all get together on the bottom part of the racetrack.
And you got Jack Roush cars involved there, and both the 26, the Cheerios car, the 97, Chad Little, both of those from the Jack Roush stables.
The 26 is really bent up. The whole back end of that thing is pushed in. Randy LaJoie.
Lap number 10. And this will already match last year's number. We had one caution here in September of last year, one caution here yesterday. Let's watch it again as here comes Chad Little to the pit area. Let's see exactly what triggered it all with Johnny's problems.
Well, Johnny's up on the high side there. You see John Andretti in the 43. Whether there was contact or not, we certainly won't speculate. As he starts sliding down, cars are trying to avoid him, and it's a chain reaction behind him. Kyle Petty hit very, very hard with the left front corner, just very close to where he's sitting.
And watch this. I don't know if you can see it on this angle. No, it's already gone by as Kyle comes crashing on in. And again, those straightaways are 9 degrees of banking. But did you notice when Benson spun too, it was Ted Musgrave, another Roush car that came along and nestled him.
3 of the 5 Roush cars involved in that single incident. Oh,
that's Randy LaJoie in the 50 there. You can see he had the brakes locked up, nowhere to go.
Watch this first angle again. Watch, you'll see quickly after he spins. Watch a blue and gold car come by and rip off the rear bumper. Here comes Musgrave. Close watch. There he is. Bang.
he also pushed the door in on Musgrave's car, which isn't nearly as bad as what happened at Benson shortly thereafter.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Eli, Brett Bodine just left his pit stall. Some damage to the front fascia of his car. His grill has been pushed in, the bumper a little bit damaged. Other than that, his car seemed to be okay, just some superficial body damage to the front nose. He was hoping for some good luck today. His wife won 12 grand in the slot machines in Dover this weekend. He was hoping that was going to carry over out of the racetrack.
Goodness.
Brett Bodine's front end on that car. Now, you run fast enough here that any damage to the nose section of the car hurts it as far as the ability to get around the racetrack aerodynamically.
So they've got a lot of cleanup to do. We're going to take advantage and break away for just a bit. Jeff Gordon leads. Rodney Wise is saying, come on, guys, let's bunch it up. So Johnny Benson, Randy LaJoie, Kyle Petty, Robert Presley, Chad Little. Those cars in the garage area right now. And some may be able to return. Others certainly will not. But we are now a lap away from going back to high-speed racing. Jeff Gordon, the leader. Mark Martin is second. Dale Jarrett third. Rick Mast fourth. And Ricky Rudd fifth. There is the one to go signal by a Delaware native, Rodney Wise, atop the flag stand. There's Jeff Burton still back in 37th spot. He had backslid to 42nd during that first 8, 9, 10 laps of green flag racing, guys.
The big point is he's getting the tire heat back into the car, and he missed the wreck. That's the big thing.
Matt, what was the deal there on the initial start for Jeff Burton?
Eli, that caution came at the most opportune time for Jeff Burton. His car had gone bad loose. He nearly lost it. They brought it in not once but 3 times to check the chassis to see if they might have had a shot going away. They did make a wedge adjustment. Also, they came back in the last time around and topped off with fuel. That could easily push his fuel window to around lap 115.
It's interesting. Again, a report of a loose race car.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
That young man there has been flagging races from his grandstand seat for years. He started, it was just a little tight.
Eli, everybody watched TV from their trucks yesterday and heard us talking about the push of everybody was having. I think some of the guys may have started this race a little bit on the loose side because of that.
Well, that's part of the search that we were talking about. The crews trying to figure out what it is they have to do with springs and shocks and weight balance and all the rest of that. And then the drivers searching around for the best line. And it is so early in this race with a brand new tire here at Dover. And let's not also forget that since they raced here the last time, the spoilers have been cut down. Ford an inch less, Chevy 3/4, Pontiac an inch and an eighth less spoiler.
Rusty Wallace grabs 5th. Ricky Rudd 6th. Joe Nemechek now 7th.
Talking of Rusty, at the very first, he complained of being loose. Now the car seems to be pretty neutral, and he's starting to pass cars that passed him in the earlier part of the event.
Here goes Nemechek looking. Can't make the move on Ricky Rudd that time. That is 6th place on your screen. Already 1 3/10 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon, though. So that tells you the pace that Jeff is setting here in the early stages of the MBNA Platinum 400.
As we watch Ricky Rudd in that number 10 car trying to hold Nemechek off, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. It seems hard to believe that he has not led a lap since winning the Brickyard 400 last year. He has had a tough time of it. They are looking forward to this race at Dover as the single event to turn his year around. This is his best track.
There's Jeff Burton. He's now working himself up through the running order. He's 32nd as we ride with him.
Ted Musgraves can't hold his car down on the bottom part of the racetrack, and you can see Burton taking that line low and making the pass through the middle part of the corner.
See in the top part of that shot, those big high grandstands. That's 10,000 new seats that were added since last fall. They're all sold out.
Couple of laps ago, watch what happened here.
Oh.
LePage got loose. Bobby Labonte on the binders. Dave Marcus, Steve Grissom.
If that had been any other car but the Pontiac with that real slope nose, that would have been an incident. He went up under the back of LePage with the nose of the Pontiac.
Good point. There's 0.6 of a second. That's what it looks like here at Dover Downs from Mark Martin's car in second. Looking forward to Jeff Gordon. 148 miles an hour plus for Gordon. On our computers, he is the only driver running 148 or better. Not even counting the guys who are in traffic, but all of these fellas here who are running by their lonesome. No one turning the speed that Gordon did in the last handful of laps. There's 17th place right there, Mike Skinner. Healthy again. Kenny Schrader in that green and white 33 right behind him. Then Michael Walker.
Talking about Skinner, he's injured, and they put a device in his car that weighs less than 2 pounds. It's an air conditioning unit that takes less than 3 amps to run and absolutely keeps him cool. You know, when you're hurt, one thing, if you're comfortable, it makes it more endurable.
He's another guy who is looking forward to Dover. He scored his first career top 10 in this same race last year. Schrader's worried him, though, isn't he? Schrader's all over the back end of that 31.
And that's 17th and 18th spot. Michael Waltrip behind in the 21. He's running 19th. 20th is Jeff Bodine. There he is in the 7th. Jeff used to be the ultimate track record holder here at the Monster Mile back in the days of his old enclosed wheel modified. That's gone away. And when the Indy Racing League comes here in just a few weeks, all the speed records will be going bye-bye. We're going bye-bye as well for just a moment.
How do NASCAR drivers relax after the race? They do a little fishing.
Good fishing hole.
Great fishing hole. You bet.
I wonder why nobody else is here.
Uh-oh. Fortunately, most drivers start with Excite NASCAR Select, the official battery of NASCAR, engineered to start high-compression engines that demand nearly twice the starting power of your car.
Hey, who took all the fish? He did.
Whoa! Excite NASCAR Select, because winter can be a real bear. Available at these stores.
As we take a look at the rundown across the top of the screen, the folks at Napa who keep America running, also bringing you the timing and scoring. You know, Ernie Irvin was telling me today in the garage, and I think you guys spoke with him also, he wanted to go up high all day if he could.
Yeah, he really did. He thought if he went up high that he could come out of the corners so well that he could pick up as much as 10 miles an hour, additional straightaway speed. So he's planning on trying that as the day wears on.
All I can tell him is he better start using it, because the cars on the bottom of the racetrack now are definitely quicker. And it's because everybody is running there. The rubber, you can see right as you go in the corner here, the dark part of the racetrack, it's the same as a dragster spinning the tires before they start a drag race. You get a good rubber compound down there. The hot tire sticks to it. Up higher, you can see the gray area there. You don't have the traction.
We're doing a 1 mile burnout, basically.
Yeah, in fact, some of the drivers say they get such good bite from running down there that coming out of the corner, they actually have to lift a little bit so they don't run the car right into the wall. Jeff Bodine says he's going to run this racetrack like it's a dirt track. He's going to try to steer it with the throttle coming out of the corner.
8th, 9th, and 10th right there in front of you. Mayfield, Nemechek, Ernie Irvin. Still early if you're just joining us. And there are friends from Meritor bringing you the telemetry on the Jeremy Mayfield car. Meritor, makers of complete drive trains, formerly Rockwell International, sponsoring our telemetry for you. Jeff Gordon has just come to the stripe. He is the leader at lap number 50. So if you're going to participate in that TNN, take home a piece of the action sweepstakes, you want to write down on your entry that it was Mark Martin leading at lap number 50 of the MBNA, excuse me, Jeff Gordon, I should say, leading at lap number 50 of the MBNA Platinum 400.
I was just looking at RPMs there, and 8,800 down at the far end of the straightaway, and you can see the speed as they get near the end of the straightaway, 175 down at the far end of the straightaway.
On a 1 mile racetrack.
You can almost feel you can almost feel the pain on those connecting rods. That's a lot of pressure to put an engine under.
Talking about the people from America, I was a guest speaker for them out in Texas last year. A nice group of people. Jim Cooper is the representative for that company, and we want to thank them for providing telemetry for us.
From overhead, the Duralube aerial camera shots for you here today, and that's Jeff Gordon, who has led the majority of the laps thus far. He is 1 3/10 seconds behind second place. That's not second place. That's Dave Marcus. He's gone a lap down. There's your second place man, Mark Martin, 1 2/10 seconds now behind Gordon. There's Dale Jarrett, the 88 car. He's running in third. Fourth place is Rusty Wallace. It'll be a while till he comes along. There's Ward Burton going by, and there's Rusty right there. He is 4.5 seconds behind the leader. Fourth place, 4.5 seconds back. Great run for Rick Mast. He's 4.8 seconds back in the Remington entry. Good run. Rick always runs well here at Dover Downs. Then you've got the 12 car, Jeremy Mayfield. He's running 6th. And a nice call also to the next man in line, who's going to be Buckshot Jones. Took over the Circuit City Stavola Brothers ride. He's a goodly distance back there. There's Buckshot, 9 seconds back of Jeff Gordon. But in his second career Winston Cup race, he was in Atlanta. He's doing himself proud.
Yeah, and there he is in the top 10 running in a Winston Cup race here, doing a good job.
You've got Ricky Rudd running in 8th. There's Ricky right there, winner here a year ago. And you go further back to 9th place. Good run for Kenny Irwin, and Jeff Burton now running right behind him in 10th.
And Irwin is a raw rookie at this racetrack. He just saw it for the very first time on Thursday afternoon. Never took a lap around here until practice on Thursday.
Now we take even further back. You've got Ernie Irvin running in 11th. There's Ernie in that multicolored Skittles car. And Dick Trickle trying to take advantage of that wide move and grab 11th. He does. So Dick Trickle will grab the spot away. So you move Dick up into the 11th spot. Ernie is 12th. There's Joe Nemechek. He's running in 13th. You see how these guys are taking the turns now, buddy? What do they call that? Diamonding the turn just a bit?
That's exactly right. They're going in low into the corner, then the middle part of the corner, let the car go up in the center, and then cut back down and come off low off the corner. You can see Michael Waltrip right there. He comes back down the racetrack to come off the corner.
Michael Waltrip 15.5 seconds back. You saw Terry Labonte. There's Lake Speed 16 7/10 seconds behind the race leader. And you're back to 17th spot. That's John Andretti, who's going to be challenged by Jimmy Spencer in just a moment. Jimmy's closing in, running a bit quicker than Andretti right now on the clocks. There's Spencer in 18th spot. David Green in the 96 car. He's running 19th, and Mike Skinner right there in the 31. He's in 20th position. Bill Elliott running 21st with Kenny Schrader 22nd. They are 19.8 seconds behind Jeff Gordon, the race leader. And there's Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, Brett Bodine in the number 11. They are 23rd, 24th, 25th spot. And then further back, there's Kevin LePage in that blue number 91. And Derek Cope, a former winner here. Sterling Marlin in the 40. That's back to 28th position.
Eli, these guys have got to go just a half a straightaway back. Jeff Gordon's coming, trying to put these guys down.
Bobby Hamilton right there. Then Jeff Bodine. Ted Musgrave going by Bodine now. And you pull on back, Rich Bickle, and there's the leader. So we've taken you all the way around on the Duralube camera. You know exactly where everybody's running. And Rich Bickle about to go a lap down in 33rd spot. And, you know, Glenn, I don't know if you talked to Ray Evernham at the hotel, saw him this morning. He said, all right, how you guys going to be doing? Well, I don't know how good we are. He was bad-mouthing before we even left the hotel at 6:15 this morning.
Oh, you're exactly right, Eli. And I talked to him in the garage area this morning. I got the same reaction. I don't really know. And he moped around a little bit and wouldn't really tell me anything. And I said, in other words, Ray, you guys are real, real good today. He just laughed and said, well, we'll see. They are. One of their concerns is, though, that they're starting to race on stickers. That's about all they had back there were new tires. But they went and got a set of scuffs from end to joint. They think the scuff may be the way to go. The air pressure seems to be fluctuating a little bit on the sticker tires when they put them on. So they're looking for scuffs right now. They got one set from LaJoy. They have one set left from practice. I imagine they'll be looking for more.
Eli, the real problem right now, Jeff Gordon just looked in the mirror. Mark Martin is on a run right now. You see he is closing down on Jeff Gordon. He's got it down to about a 10-car length lead. And a while ago, Gordon was a good half a straightaway ahead.
Right, it's only 0.6 of a second. Going wide around Jeff Bodine, putting the Phillips car a lap down. That's 32nd spot being lapped right there.
Just blew by him on the outside. Mark Martin's doing the same thing.
We are live at Dover Downs International Speedway in Delaware. 76 laps of 400 complete. Jeff Gordon leads. We are coming right back. To caution here at Dover Downs International Speedway. A piece of metal right there in the middle of the racing groove, and NASCAR has thrown the caution here at lap number 100. Even an innocent-looking beverage can with thin racing tires, that is enough to propel someone towards the wall. So cautions on the speedway. Pit stops, lap 102 because of the caution for debris.
Eli, if you want to know who's a lap down, they're still on the racetrack. All these cars are on the lead lap.
Glenn Jarrett.
And here they come. They're waiting upon Gordon and Mark Martin. They're pitted right together. Rusty Wallace on in front of them. Gordon's out. Remember, his car was getting just a little bit loose, so they're going to take this opportunity maybe to tighten him up, snug him up just a little bit. 4-tire change of fuel for both cars. Now, this time, they ran 65 laps under green, so they got a little better read off of what the cars will do on a longer run. Gordon is down and away. Great pit stop for Jeff Gordon. Mark Martin down. Again, he and Dale Jarrett side by side going out for second and third.
Drag race off pit road. There's Rusty Wallace finishing his service.
You can see a tire in the middle of pit road. All the cars saw it in plenty of time. The guy's getting it off right now, but it was laying right in the way.
That's from the Heilig Myers team, the Judy Donlevy owned entry. Let's go to Steve Burns. He was watching Jeremy Mayfield's stuff.
And a good indication that Jeremy Mayfield is indeed hooked up on the racetrack, Eli. They took 4 tires, sticker tires, brand new ones that is, and they made no adjustments to that car. So Jeremy Mayfield, at this point in the race, has a good chassis set up underneath of him. Matt Yoakum?
A 18.47 pit stop for Rick Maston Company. They took on 4 tires. He'd gone 66 laps on that set of tires. Remember, we told you the car was a little bit loose when he was trying to battle Rusty Wallace. Once he got by and the car started to go back tight, they did not make any adjustments to the car. He said the car is a little tight, but I like it the way it is. Eli?
Now, what was that, a Rockbridge Baths, Virginia version of an air conditioner?
Rick Mast was putting an ice pack down in his uniform, right near the hard area. Let me tell you, that is just as good as any air conditioner. When you can cool the area right around the hard area, it keeps the whole body cool.
Sure does. Same thing with the top of your head and around your neck and the wrist area. Anything to cool you down. It's in the 90s here at Dover today. A warm day. Fans are enjoying it. We're under caution. Back in a moment.
Again. He is so tough. Yeah, I know. But, you know, you got to hand it to this team. Every week, race after race, they are a story.
But I believe Mark's going to start to rumble right here.
Yep. I think Mark's about ready to check him out for tough right now. He's looking him over. He's dead behind him right now in his tire track, looking for a weakness right now. The one weakness that got him by last year was Jeff Gordon could not stay on the bottom part of the racetrack in the center part of the corner. See Mark Martin a little bit lower, but he didn't gain the ground like he did last year getting in the corner.
You realize that in the 1990s, in this decade, only Dale Earnhardt has amassed more points than has Mark Martin?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Do you realize that in 1998, no professional race driver anywhere in the world has won as much as this man in the number 6. He has won 6 times, and now he's got the lead here at Dover.
So Mark Martin makes the move. You see NASCAR timing and scoring across the top of the screen, brought to you by MCI. 10, 3, 2, 1. Just dial it up and save 50%. Mark Martin is the race leader.
Here comes Jeff Gordon back on the bottom side. You can see the 6 car, the lead car, push out in the center part of the corner there. Jeff Gordon taking advantage of it, turning to the bottom and going right by.
Yeah, DJ's no slouch either. He's right back there, too.
That's the same passing we were talking about on our pre-race show back around 11:45 this morning.
But, you know, you think about Mark Martin, 3 Winston Cup wins. He won the Winston here the other night, by the way, in that exact same car. It's a new paint job, but that's the same car. And then last weekend, a Busch Grand National race in Charlotte. Been strong all year.
There's Jimmy Spencer now running in 19th. Jimmy came into pit at lap 103 and then came in again at lap 114 for an unscheduled stop. Let's get a report from down in the Winston pit.
Okay, Eli, as you noted, Jimmy Spencer made an unscheduled pit stop. He is the last car on the lead lap. He was very, very tight, so they brought the 23 in. Donnie Wingo, the crew chief, had the team insert a spring rubber in the right rear, saying the car was extremely tight.
So that was the update on Spencer as you look from the Duralube aerial cameras overhead. Michael Waltrip struggling to get back down in line.
Eli, this is about as good a time as any to explain tight and loose. For people that haven't watched races a lot, when you talk about a car being tight, that means that you turn the wheel, you don't get the response, the grip that you need with the front wheel. When you say it's loose, it means the back wheel is fine to the surface.
What did our old broadcasting buddy, the late Neil Bonnet, say about being pushing and tight?
Well, he said it was pretty simple. When you're pushing, you see the wreck.
That's what made Neil so special. Riding with Mark Martin as we are midway through the MBNA Platinum 400. NASCAR Thunder. The all-new and official stores of NASCAR. They're all over the country right now. And the best way for you to check out where the nearest one is to you is by calling that number you see on the screen. Monday through Friday. They'll give you all the details you need as to where you can get the latest line of officially licensed NASCAR merchandise. NASCAR Thunder, the official store of NASCAR. There is Jeff Gordon, still leading by car lengths over Mark Martin. We're at lap 154. And there's the tape room. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Dick Bergman, Glenn Tarrant, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns with you here on TNN Motorsports.
One thing to keep your eye on, entrance to pit road has been very, very... Here's the caution.
The racetrack, turn 2, David Green, and the Caterpillar car goes into the wall. Right front tire gone, whether it was prior to or as a result of the accident, we don't know. But we are under caution for the 5th time. David Green running up in 24th position at the time of the accident.
There's David Green out of the car. Good sight. See him walking around there.
A little wobbly. He's out.
Yeah, he's a little wobbly. It was hard. Hey, there's no such thing as a light hit here, except if you're running like Harry Gant used to up against the wall, and even those aren't easy.
Eli, he hit it at the right angle, but it pancaked the right side of that car. I mean, just tore it all to pieces.
David Green brings out the caution. Now, Rusty had already pitted under Green. Remember that. So had Lake Speed. Rich Bickle was caught on pit road. And there's Rusty now in 26th position, 2 laps down, because he stopped under the green, and no sooner had he exited pit road than the other Green, David Green, went into the wall and brought out the yellow. I mean, it's a game of timing also sometimes.
And that's just plain luck.
Yeah.
You know.
Bad luck, but luck.
Nemechek as well, in the left side of your screen there. He also had just pitted before this yellow flag, and he also is going to pay quite the price for having done so. It's one of the reasons they try to go as far as they possibly can, just assuming something like that might happen. You could have the fastest car in the race, but if you lose a couple of laps on a deal like that, which is just luck, doesn't matter.
See David Green going to the ambulance. Yeah, Joe Nemechek pitted at 183. Rusty at 185. You had Mike Skinner and Chad Little pitting at lap 187. Lake Speed and Rich Bickle hit. And that is where the area around where the car...
Wow. He moved a mountain.
He really did.
Look at that. That is a hard, hard hit. That
is the back of where the car impacted the wall. All right, the leaders, as you see, are on the right. They're on pit road. Those cars a lap down. Stay on the racetrack. Let's cover these pit stops.
Jeremy Mayfield hits his pit marks as the other guys went on by. There will be a wedge adjustment on the 12 car. He said his car was a little bit loose near the end of that run. 1.5 rounds. They go to the left side of the car. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
And Matt Dale Jarrett says he's a little bit tight. They're going to take a round of fight out. He's down away half a pound of air pressure on the right front. And let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Steve, thanks a lot. Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin already both down and away. Great pit stop by Gordon. Again, kept him out front. Mark Martin got out second. Dale Jarrett third. These tires went about 95, almost 100 laps. So we're going to take a look, particularly at the right front. Now, I was standing down here in Rusty Wallace's pit when David Green hit the wall. The right front tire exploded as he went into the corner. So the tire did blow before he got into the wall. He was probably due a pit stop. It's too early to speculate whether he stretched it too far or not. Maybe he ran over and cut something, but the tire did blow before he hit the wall.
1 to go signal as they come to the stripe. Time for us to give you the Wrangler mid-race report, sponsored by Wrangler Jeans. Average speed down just a bit from the track record here of a year ago of 132, because we only had 1 quick caution a year ago. There's Ward Burton in the Platinum Pontiac of his as he takes his position in line just ahead of the modified look of Robert Presley. And the green is in the air. Lap 203, the leader, Jeff Gordon. Joe Nemechek trying to get one of his 3 laps down. Trying to get one of those back. Rusty Wallace also up the front. So a little bump right there.
Rusty Wallace fighting very hard to make up one of the 2 laps he's down. He did get by Gordon. They made a little contact getting into turn 3. But right now, he's only 1 lap down.
Won almost a full 2. He is on the tail end of 1 lap down. From the crossover bridge across the back stretch.
Look at Gordon just close right in on them, though. He is so strong this afternoon.
Love this shot. You want to know what it looks like to drive a race car? This is it right here. This is the camera that lets you feel like you're actually in the car.
We're riding with Bill Elliott. Bill's in 11th on the lead lap.
Michael Waltrip in the 21 there in 10th spot. He's doing very, very well today.
Yeah. Up front, still tight. And here can Rusty stay on the tail of the road. Oh, boy.
2 wheels below the concrete.
If he can make it handle down there on the flat guard, he can get by Rusty. But right now, Rusty's losing a lot of racetrack. It's important to make these laps up that he lost because he hit it too early.
Again, Rusty is on the tail end of 1 lap down, so if Gordon passes him, he'd be 2 laps down. There's Dale Jarrett going around the lap car of Joe Nemechek with Mayfield in the 12 behind him. Riding with Jeff Burton.
Well, I made a comment earlier in the race today. Jeff Burton passed more cars than anyone else. Started 36 and battled his way towards the front.
And Rusty goes another lap down. So Wallace again 2 laps down as Gordon gets by him. Since the halfway portion of this race goes under caution, the Gatorade Front Runner Award, the $10,000 for leading it halfway, is given out after the 5th completed green flag lap. That's right now. So $10,000 more for Jeff Gordon. Watch this. Last lap.
Honk, honk. No horns on these things. That's how you get their attention.
But it's gutsy to do when you've clearly got the best car on the racetrack.
Well, gutsy to do to put 2 wheels underneath the concrete as well. He is driving quite an aggressive race given the advantage he seems to have in his race car.
Our friends at Napa bringing you the field standing update across the top of the screen. At Napa, we keep America running.
Bumper canopy. You can see right behind him, Jarrett. Just behind him there, using a little higher line, getting in the corner. Just behind him, Mayfield.
5th place, Jeff Burton in the 99. Bobby Labonte in the 18. That's the green car. Brother Terry Labonte is not on the lead lap in the 5 right there. Terry is in 14th position, a lap back.
That little green car, you see that the number 18, that's the one they call Little Joe, and that's the one that Bobby Labonte won his first ever Winston Cup race with. Get a good look at it. You're not going to see it too much longer. Joe Gibbs is giving it to Bobby. They found the original engine. They're going to reskin it with a Chevrolet body, and Bobby is building a museum, and that's going to be one of the very first cars that he'll put in it. And 3 wins in that thing.
On board with Rick Mast. Had a good run today. He's now in 7th. We might point out that the gear shifter indication you see there on the right of the screen is obviously not working correctly. We are not shifting from 2nd to 3rd to 4th here at Dover Downs.
Exactly right. It showed it in 2nd gear. I was fixing to say if it runs 175 miles an hour in 2nd gear, they're at the wrong track.
But that telemetry being brought to you by Meritor, makers of heavy-duty brakes. There you see the spread. About 5 car lengths over Mark Martin. Dale Jarrett runs 3rd here on TNN Motorsports. Over midway to the MBNA Platinum 400. Hope you've already logged on to NASCAR.com. Check it out. Your full-time NASCAR Garage Pass. NASCAR Online. Now by 0.6 of a second, that's the lead.
We also have somebody else sitting there in 4th place. Jeff Burton is driving the wheels off the 99 car. He's closing in on the front 3.
I don't know how this day is going to end up, but Burton's been an all-star today, Glenn, no doubt about it.
Oh, he has, Eli. I've been looking at the scoring computer for the last 10 or 15 laps here since we went back to green, and consistently, Jeff Burton has been the quickest car on the racetrack. Sometimes a tenth of a second, sometimes only 500, sometimes 300ths of a second, but every lap he's been quicker than those cars ahead of him. I don't think it'll be much longer than it'll take him much longer to pass Dale Jarrett. I think he's the only car on the racetrack right now that may have something for Jeff Gordon.
There you see how they're all spread out. Gordon to Jarrett to Burton to Mark Martin. You get a good view of it there from the Duralube helicopter high over top Dover Downs International Speedway here in Delaware.
It's pretty unique to be able to ride along with the fastest car on the racetrack. According to Glenn Jarrett, the 99, he says it's quickest on the computer. And it seems that he is closing in on Dale Jarrett just a little bit.
Yeah, we've got it punched up here, too. 143 miles an hour is what Burton is doing. Now he has dropped down just a tick to 142.124 on the last lap.
I wonder if that trip to the Blue Coat restaurant last night is going to pay off. What do you think, Eli?
I don't know.
Crew Chief Buddy Carrick first went there way back with Richard Petty and won the race the next day. And then in 1990, went there with Derek Pope and won the race the next day. Went there with Rusty Wallace and won. Hasn't been back since. Well, they went last night.
And that win with Richard was Richard's 199th career victory. A lot of folks might remember back to that. And then he went ahead and won the 200 at Daytona in July.
You know, we're going back and forth. I'm looking at the computer now, and just this past last lap, Mark Martin was the quickest car. So these guys are all running very, very close to each other right now. The guy that gets around the racetrack clean without any lap traffic or anything may have a little quicker lap, one lap, but consistently the first four cars are very, very evenly matched.
Glad you're with us here at Dover Downs International Speedway. Jeff Gordon leads. Dale Jarrett second. They're coming right back. Jeff Gordon finally getting by Dave Marcus. One of the toughest men in this industry to pass is Dave Marcus.
I don't know. Here comes Marcus fighting back on the outside. He tries every lap.
God bless him. Sometimes he'll just ride around, but when you get up on his tail trying to put him a lap down, he'll race you for 25 miles.
I called him 5-lap Marcus when I run with him. I figured it'd take me 5 laps if I was lucky to get by him.
Dale Jarrett gets by cleanly, and that separates second and third spot. And now Dave will give room right there. One thing, he is a considerate veteran, and he'll say, I know I'm not going to battle right here, and he gives room.
Yeah, you're the lead car. He's got to fight for his position, too. Once the lead car got by, he moved over.
Dave Marcus is in 28th right now. He's 3 laps down to the race leaders. Jeff Gordon right there, Jarrett and Jeff Burton.
Marcus is the oldest guy in today's race at age 57. Says he has absolutely no interest in doing anything with his life other than driving race cars. Wants to stick with it forever.
I heard he went fishing, though, the other day and supposedly caught the limit. I mean, he had a great day out on the water. He's bragging more about that than anything else in the garage. Going by Robert Presley in the 77. They've caught Randy LaJoy, who's subbing for Ted Musgrave now in the 16. Not been a good day for the Roush teams, has it?
Not at all. The reason Ted Musgrave got out, you see the damage on the right side of that 16 car there. That was from an accident early, and it knocked in the panels where the tires roll 200 and something degrees off the right side tires pouring back in on the driver. That's why he got out.
You talked about the Roush teams. You got one of them running in third, one of them running in fourth, which is great. But then the rest of the 5 teams were caught up in that very early accident. Johnny Benson never did come back out of the garage, being shown now in 41st position. You've got, again, Chad Little in that accident. He's running now in 38th, about 100 laps down. And Musgrave's car with Randy LaJoy behind the wheel in 22nd. A mixed bag. 2 good, 3 not so good for Roush.
Yeah, and that, you know, you talk about the big family of racing. You see a Chevrolet driver run over and jump into a Ford to help with that. Too hot in the race car. That's what we're all about.
Why don't we break away and take care of a little business here with Jeff Gordon leading. The King is looking on. John Andretti still in the hunt, running 13. That's the Kings driver. Berggren, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns. Glad you're with us here at Dover now. It's Jeff Gordon. Hasn't had carte blanche today, but darn close to it. He has been far and away the dominant car. You saw Kenny Irwin make a pit stop moments ago. He was in a lap 2:58. There you see Derek Cope going in the 30 machine. Derek had unscheduled stops early. He's in 35th. The 88 right behind him. That's Dale Jarrett right there. Second place on the leaderboard. Right behind him, Jeff Burton. That's the third place runner. The X-Side 4. And you pan back just a little bit, and there's Jeff Bodine at Lake Speed. Bodine's in 25th. Lake is in 36th position, each a number of laps down in their own private battle now. Now you'll see Mark Martin come around the corner. Mark's in 4th, 3.5 seconds behind the race leader, Jeff Gordon. There's the 16 car. Musgrave started it. Randy LaJoy currently at the wheel. And there's Rusty Wallace in the 2. Rusty lost 2 laps, pitting just before a caution came out. And Rusty finds himself in 22nd spot. The white car, that's Dave Marcus. Bobby Labonte next in the Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
Did you see Marcus? He stuck his hand out the window and pointed which way he wanted Labonte to pass him, on the low side.
Jeremy Mayfield in the 12. Jeremy's 6th, and there's 7th, Rick Mast. They are 8 seconds back behind the leader. Dale Earnhardt right there, the black number 3. He's 27. Just grabbed the position away from Steve Grissom moments ago, but he's running 4 laps down. We're live on TNN Motorsports, the MBNA Platinum 400. You're all caught up to speed. Back to the action in a moment. With him, he pits all the way down towards turn 1. There you saw the Andretti crew working, and Glenn Jarrett's down there waiting for Martin.
Hey guys, mark this. Mark Martin is pitting on lap 291. If he tries to go the rest of the way, 109 laps. This will be a 4-tire change and a chassis adjustment. They're going to the right rear jack screw to make that adjustment. Remember I said he was just a little bit tight. So that's what they're trying to fix on the car. Right sides are done, left sides are on right now. So this probably will not enable Mark to go the rest of the way. Oh, he stalled the car. The right rear was not on. Oh, man, big foul up there.
The right
That's
front,
too bad.
right front also, Glenn. Don't know if you could see it from your angle. They went back to the right front also. And here's Rick Mast. Rick slowly comes in. Now watch.
Guys, on pit road.
See that right on the money.
Let's do it. Oh, here we go.
He said, where are we? Oh, here we are. Here we go. Couldn't find his pit stall. Lap 293 for Mast and for Bill Elliott. Ward Burton is in as well. Now we have a new leader as Mast leaves.
3,400.
The 24. Jeff Gordon is in. That will cycle the lead back on around.
Bobby Labonte, Jeremy Mayfield making his way on the pit road also.
Let's go to the 18 pit.
Peter Jellin putting in the final can of gasoline, making sure he gets every drop in so now they can go the final distance. This is lap 295. Now let's go up pit road to Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Matt, same thing down here. They're being very careful to try to get all the fuel in the 24 car. 4 tires, he is down and away. 17.2, a good pit stop, a great pit stop under the green. These guys have been flawless on the racetrack and the pits all day long.
So from lap 228 to 294, Jeff Gordon is the leader. At 295, that man, Jeff Burton, takes over the top spot. Pit stops continuing now. Terry Labonte's in. Brett Bodine Bodine is in. Darrell Waltrip.
You can see Burton waving his arms to let everybody know he's coming down pit road as he enters in right here. You see the car, he's got it down slow, coming into pit.
And you see Dale Jarrett coming in as well. First to Matt Yoakum.
In his pit, what they're going to do is they're going to try to loosen him up a little bit. They're going to open up the stagger on the car. As you can see, Frank Starter comes around to the left side of the car. Jim Gilbert getting every drop of fuel in the car. This is lap 297. Frank said we think we can stretch it to 298. 18.0 seconds. Now let's go to Steve Byrne.
Okay, Matt, Dale Jarrett's in here. They're making a chassis adjustment to the right rear. Obviously, a 4-tire stop. So far, it's a good one. The jack goes up on the left side. The left front is on. A little bit of trouble with the left rear on the 88 car for Dale Jarrett. A little bit of a slower stop. He's finally down. 20.2.
Ricky Rudd led for moments. He now comes down pit road. Here comes Buckshot Jones in as well. So it's cycling around on the racetrack now as Buckshot's in for service. And there's Rudd, who led 297 and picked up 5 bonus points. Let's cover that stop.
And Eli, they're going to make a chassis adjustment to the left rear of Ricky Rudd. As you said earlier, he has 4 career wins here. The right side tires are on. They make the chassis adjustment. The left side goes up, tires off, and the new ones are put on. There's the chassis adjustment. Good stop for Ricky Rudd.
So it cycles around. Rudd leaves. Jeff Gordon will reassume the lead here at lap 298. So again, Gordon led, then Burton for 2 laps. Ricky Rudd led a lap, and now back to the Rainbow Warriors. We're back to Dover in a moment. Back, everybody. Jeff Gordon now the leader again, as we told you before we broke away, having recycled around, and you see the lead now is 2 6/10 seconds over Jeff Burton. There's Mark Martin now running in 5th. He's 11.5 seconds back of Gordon. Of course, he had a disastrous stop moments ago. Watch this here. Watch what happens. See the official?
The official's pointing to the right front. That means the lugs are not tight on that wheel, and he has to come back around. You see the tire changer there having to come back around, put a lug on, run back, trip, get out of the way. Boy, that's precious time.
Precious time. That translates now to 12 seconds of a deficit for the man with which we are riding. So those are the fellas who did the very best right there moments ago.
And what a surprise. The Rainbow Warriors once again right at the head of the list with a stop of just over 17 seconds. Those guys are incredible on pit road. They just never make a mistake, and they're always fast.
105 miles from the finish.
What do you think? Can he make it?
Well, we saw 104 here last year, didn't we, with Mark Martin?
Yep, and that's what won the race for Mark Martin. He was able to get more mileage out of his race car than Kyle Petty, and as a result, he wound up taking home the checkered flag.
Glenn, what are you hearing? Is Ray thinking he's in his window to go?
No, Eli, he told me definitely a while ago, but I didn't even get the question out. He shook his head, said, I cannot make it. The same thing from Mark Martin's pits and obviously Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd in the 88 car say that they can make it. So here's Matt.
The benefits of multi-car team ownership. Jack Roush called down and said, look, I know the 99 car is too tight. Frank Stoddard, try this setup. We tried it with Mark Martin's car. They dropped a pound on the left side tires to try to help the car cut in the corners and help Mark earlier in the race. Jeff Burton says the car is already feeling better.
Well, interesting. He's running in second, Burton is. There's the leader from the Duraloop camera. High overhead, the Monster Mile and our helicopter. 2 4/10 back is Jeff Burton running in second. Then you got the wild card of Bobby Labonte still. He got indications there. He might be able to stretch it from 295 to the finish. This all is contingent on no cautions. We've not had a yellow since lap 190, the last of the 5th of the 5 yellows of the day. There goes Jeff right there around Bill Elliott.
One of the things to consider when we're looking at whether they can make it on mileage or not is how the car is going to perform after that round of pit stops. If the car is pushing, it's going to eat up more gas than if the car is not doing that. So hard to tell right now, but there are some guys who might be able to make it on gas, and we might have another caution flag, which would throw all of the speculation right out the window.
So right now, everybody's settling in after the pit stops. Jeff Gordon leads. A dozen teams trying to work on the lead lap late at Dover. The spread from first to the last car in the lead lap, Ricky Rudd, who was in 8th, 19 7/10 of a second. Then you've got John Andretti 9th, Buckshot Jones 10th, Bill Elliott 11th, Darrell Waltrip 12th, Ernie Irvan 13th, Terry Labonte 14th, and Bobby Hamilton rounds out the top 15 in the Kodak machine.
Yeah, a lot of these cars are starting to pick up hot dog wrappers and stuff. Jeff Gordon has a big piece of paper on the right front corner of his valence there that gets air to the radiator. You can see it just on the side there. That could be a problem. I don't think it will be, though. He's got a lot of opening there to get fresh air in.
MCI bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring. 10-3-2-1. Just dial it and save up to 50%. Probably a silly question, but I've asked my share over the years, so what's one more, buddy? Would you rather be in a tight battle to keep you really alert, or would you rather be out by 3.5, 4 seconds, but not have any competition, blow by everybody, and can that lull you to safety and to sleep?
Eli, let me answer that question real easy for you. Would you rather drive in the country, or would you rather ride downtown in traffic?
I'd rather drive in the country.
You got it. Yep. Anytime you're out there, you're picking your line. You're not having to deal with somebody running up under you, making it tough. You're looking in the mirror, wondering if he's going to try to pass you. It's nerve-wracking, even when you have a great car like Jeff Gordon. Right now, he's running perfect line around the racetrack.
Of course, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. What if I had said I might drive in the city? Then what would you have done?
Well, that would have verified. Well, never mind.
Jeff Gordon is the leader, about to go around Mr. Earnhardt. Dale's already 5 laps down. Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, got to love what he sees. Racetrack 5th and 6th spot right now. That's 19 seconds behind the race leader, but it's the best battle on the racetrack right now. Bobby Labonte, that green number 18. Jeremy Mayfield going higher, as you see. And that's where Bobby's making a lot of time on Jeremy right now. Starting 26th, now running up in the 5th spot, Bobby Labonte.
The year Jeremy Mayfield has had, he has contended for every single race except this one, Talladega, and the Coke 600. Contended for the win.
There is our First Plus race summary from First Plus Financial. At First Plus, we are working for you. Just joining us, we are 334 laps into the 400. We've been slowed 5 times by caution today for 33 laps. In the garage, Johnny Benson, Randy LaJoy, Kyle Petty, Kenny Wallace, David Green, and Robert Presley. Dale still out on the racetrack. Of course, Jeff Gordon has been the dominant driver today, leading well over 310 of the 335 laps thus far.
Well, as they say, why should today be any different than any other day? You know, if you look at the concrete history of Jeff Gordon, it's just absolutely amazing. 2 poles, 3 wins. He'd have had a whole lot more if things had gone his way. This race last year, remember, he was a contender until he ran into the back of Dale Jarrett in a multi-car incident, pulled his radiator, and then last fall, he was a contender until he got caught in the pits on a yellow flag and just couldn't make it up again. So he might have had 5 by now on the concrete.
We're nearing the finish. As you see, 53 laps to go. Who can make it on fuel and who can't? We are back at Dover Downs International Speedway. There's the leader. We have had a change in second spot, though, as we look from overhead on the Duraloop camera. Dale Jarrett having taken over the second spot moments ago from Jeff Burton, but they're still a goodly distance back behind the race leader. You see 4 and 5 seconds back, respectively, for Jarrett and Burton. Burton now 5 1/10 back. Joe Nemechek 42 car. He's 6 laps down there.
That was Ray Everingham saying, Jeff, don't worry about the 42. Yep. Let him go. There's no reason to race him. Let him get his lap back.
Riding with Jeff Burton. And here comes Michael Waltrip on pit road now. Michael's in 12th, not on the lead lap, but he will be making his stop right here, lap 356. So interestingly there, he's in at lap 280 and now 356. So he's gone 76 miles. You saw Eddie Wood there come around, and Len Wood came around. 2-tire stop.
Absolutely a 2-tire stop. They're trying to get back out there in case these other guys have to come in. That's all they could do. They were losing to the leaders right there. 2 tires might make a difference. But boy, the track position he gave up. Yeah. Wow.
Matt, what about pit stops for some of these fellows who say they can't go the distance?
Eli, Jeff Burton did all he could to hold off Dale Jarrett. His car is just too tight. He couldn't hold him off, so he let him go by. They are still hoping to go the distance. I asked Craig Stoddard, can you make it? He says, I think so. So they're rolling the dice down here to 99 pit. Let's go to Glen Ferris.
Well, meanwhile, down in the Gordon pit, Ray Everingham told Jeff just to take it easy. He pulled over and let Joe Nemechek by on the racetrack to try to get a little wind off of him. You guys talked about that. No use racing him hard. But Ray told him that he should come in around lap 380. I'm telling you guys, I don't believe it.
Tell you what, why don't we break away here before we get into that window of pit stops and see who's lying and who's telling the truth. We'll all come back and we'll find out together here on TNN Motorsports. Back in a moment. Here's Rusty Wallace back in for service now in 14th spot. 3 laps back, Glenn.
Yeah, and as we expected, Rusty, there was no way he could go. He has gotten the worst fuel mileage of all the cars that have run up front today. Of course, he got those laps down, most of it, when he pitted early on the first green flag stop, and then the caution came out. The 4-tire change of filling him up with fuel, cars down and away, but tough break for the pole sitter early on in the race.
And interestingly there, the 4 tires with everybody else taking 2, but what the heck do you have to lose?
Exactly. He's in 18th spot, as you said, Eli, and right now what he's doing is not taking a chance of losing any more points than he already has by making that bad pit stop too early a while ago and getting caught in the pit.
Around Brett Bodine goes the race leader. Brett's having a good run. He's in 15th today. You know, Brett at this time a year ago, the 11 car, at this time a year ago, he was 29th in points. He's now 18th in points. It's not great still, but he says if I can pick up 11 positions this year over last year, it shows that my team is maturing. He's the owner, operator with other folks certainly. But, you know, Brett said if we can pick up 11 positions or so this year, it shows me that this team is getting better.
Well, and you have to look at the race car, too, involved in an earlier accident. That's not the most aerodynamic car I've ever looked at either. He soldiered very well today.
Good job for Brett. He's in 15th right now. Jeff Gordon leads. Dale Jarrett is second, 2 2/10 seconds behind. Jeff Burton is third, 7.5 seconds behind the leader. Mark Martin running fourth. He is 14 seconds back. And the last guy on the lead lap is Bobby Labonte, running in fifth. And here comes the whole field. And actually, Bobby went a lap down moments ago. I correct myself. So there's 4 cars on the lead lap right now. It's not likely that Gordon's going to lap everybody. But we have seen that happen here at Dover back in 1991. Harry Gant lapped everybody once and all the way up to 4th place a second time. That was back here in 1991.
Well, if he could put a lap on everybody, now's the time to do it because he has reported that they don't think they can make the distance on fuel. So that would make the cushion for some of the guys that are going to try to stretch it all the way.
Well, that's the whole key. Now, it's a question of circumstance. We've definitely had a demonstration as to which is the strongest car in the field by far, and it's obviously that number 24. If things will go his way from here forward in terms of circumstance, it ought to be his. But What's going to happen with fuel? What's going to happen with caution flags? What's going to happen with pit stops?
Plus, a lot of guys are so loose right now. I'm just looking out over the window here. There are a lot of guys about spinning out every time through the corners. We're still not away from the potential of a caution. Ward Burton had a scare last time by, and he's going to come on in. He about looped his MBNA Platinum car, and he's going to come in right here. He said, that was enough. He said, I about put myself in the 360. So he's in at lap 380, 20 laps to go. Gordon again. He had to go 105 miles, Dick.
Yeah, he's done that before.
Ray Evernham says, no, we have to stop. First while Glenn Jarrett says, I don't believe him for a second.
Well, remember California, he had to come in by himself at the end of the race.
Just going by the 16, Ted Musgrave's car with Randy LaJoy at the wheel. Randy was involved in that accident early at lap 10 in the Budweiser Chevy, and now he's subbing for Musgrave.
Of course, you know, another factor here is we're starting to think about, thinking a lot about gas mileage is the more horsepower a car generates, the more gas it's going to consume. And that number 24 is coming out of the corners today with an incredible demonstration of horsepower, and that will surely eat the fuel.
Again, Ward Burton having just made a pit stop. That's why with fresh rubber he's able to blow by, and Gordon wasn't going to contest it anyway.
That tells you what new tires will do, but as you see, Ward Burton got in there very hot and went high on the racetrack.
There's second place right there, 2 and 5/10 seconds back, 2.5 seconds. And we'll widen back for the distance again from first. Right there, back to second. Bill Elliott is in. He's running 10th. Bill could not go past lap 384, so he's in for a splash only. A splash of 76 fuel. No tires on the McDonald's team. They've already made their stop. They were in for like 3 seconds, a splash and go.
I imagine the pit crews are looking back and forth right now to see who's got the gas cans up on the pit wall.
Glenn, tell us again what Ray Evernham said as far as their fuel window. Whether we want to believe him or not, what did he say?
Well, they're within 5 laps, Eli, and they told Jeff on the radio a while ago that they would come in for a splash and go. The only problem is they didn't say when. It might be after he takes a checkered flag to get him to victory lane. I still think that Jeff Gordon can make it. I may be wrong.
Well, that's why we're here together to watch it on TNN Motorsports.
There goes that hand out the window again.
Dave Marcus saying, you go this way, I'll go that way.
That's great. Hand out the window at 140 miles an hour, telling him, go ahead, pass me on the bottom, I'll let you go.
And another thing good for Gordon is part of that obstruction on the grill has blown off of that car, so he's got to open grill again.
Lap 387, Kevin LePage is in for his stop. Kevin not on the lead lap, but nevertheless unable to make it the distance. He's running 26th, 7 laps down.
You know, I was trying to look at the computer and see if maybe Jeff Gordon was backpedaling a little bit, trying to save fuel, but in the last lap he ran 142 miles an hour. Jarrett 139.
Well, here's Mark Martin. Remember, he had to go 109 miles. He knew that wasn't going to work. If it did, they'd still be here to Wednesday tearing the car down. So he's in for service. Lap number 389, Glenn.
Yep, and the NASCAR officials just told him next time by would be 10 laps to go. He's going to get gas only. They'll probably clean the windshield a little for him, but this is just gas and go. They clean the grill and the windshield, and he's out of here.
Those windshields have these cellophane or adhesive tearaways on them instead of coming out with a squeegee. Just grab the tab and pull off the next level of cellophane. There's Gordon.
You think about the price that Mark Martin has paid for that pit stop where they didn't get all the lugs on the right front end where he might be at this moment without that.
Even with that quick stop, he'll be a couple of laps, almost a couple laps back. 1 3/4 or so. He'll drop him to 8th place. Well, let's see. Jeff Gordon's going to come in for a splash. He's waving. See him?
Yep.
You saw him waving through the windshield. He is
put his hand
he's
up.
coming in. So Gordon is coming in. Ray Evernham speaketh the truth. They cannot go the distance.
Oh, smoking the tires, trying to get down to 35 miles an hour. That's the pit road speed that they have to get down to.
That gives Dale Jarrett the lead, lap 392. Glenn Jarrett's waiting.
And you're right, Eli. Ray Evernham is an honest man. He told the absolute truth. They did come up just a few laps short. Obviously, this will be gas and go only, nothing else. No windshield, no grill clean, just enough gas to get him home for these final 7-8 laps.
Now, what's the status of Dale Jarrett? Steve Burns, what are you hearing? They were in 103 laps from the finish.
Well, Eli, I talked to the gas guys after they were doing their calculations on fuel mileage, and I asked them if they could go all the way, and he said, we can, but just barely. So it might be close on the 88 as well.
7 miles to go. Now as they cross the stripe with 6 to go. How about Jeff Burton? If Jarrett can't go, what's the status on Burton? Let's get an update.
Eli, we told you they were going to roll the dice. Frank Stoddard just radioed to Jeff Burton to slow down and try to save fuel. Your last lap with a 25.50, you have to slow down 2/10 if we're going to try to make it to the finish.
So they're going to try in case Jarrett can't. There's Stoddard in the bunch, waiting and watching, checking those stopwatches. Now Gordon is in 3rd after that splash and go. He came back out in 3rd. Remember, he had like a 20-something second lead on 4th place. So he's in 3rd. That is your 2nd place man.
This is absolutely nail-biting time. I guarantee you these guys right now are listening for anything, looking at the fuel pressure. If it bounces it and you think, uh-oh, here it goes.
No gas gauge in these cars, just fuel pressure. And when that fuel pressure gauge wobbles, it means you've gone some distance on the racetrack without gas getting to that engine. You don't want to see that. Can he make it?
Dale Jarrett has not had good runs at all here at Dover Downs International Speedway, particularly since this track was concreted. Matter of fact, we showed you his numbers way back around 11:45 this morning on our pre-race show, and he just has not had good success here at the Monster Mile of late. He's never won here in the previous 22 visits. It'll be the white flag next time by. Burton slowing just a bit under direction from his crew chief. The lead is 12.5 seconds for Jarrett.
Jeff Gordon has pulled the full straightaway back ahead of the lead cars.
White flag is out.
You can see Jarrett down on the inside there, people going by him. He slowed the pace, but he looks like he could almost bump it into neutral and coast on.
He probably could. He's got an 11-second lead. There's Gordon right there. But Jarrett being bypassed now by others. He is slowed way down. Here comes Bobby Labonte, not on the lead lap. He's a lap back, but here comes Jarrett. He'll take the checkered flag on what one has to assume is fumes in the number 88 Ford Taurus. He nurses it on around. Everybody else coming across the line now. There's Jeff Burton. He'll take 2nd spot. And 103 laps on that final tank of fuel gives Jarrett his first win in 23 starts here at Dover Downs International Speedway. Let's go to his pit area.
And Eli, Todd Parrott got tremendous gas mileage. And here's a plaque for you, the Miller Lite Pit Crew Award from TNN and Miller Lite Beer. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, our race team, all these guys on this pit crew. They never give up all weekend long. I'd like to say hello to Debbie and Tyler and Chandler back home. Got us a trophy.
Hey, now, I talked to the guys that figure your fuel mileage, and I said, can you make it? And they said, barely. How close was it?
I don't even know. It's real close, but we wasn't going to stop. No way.
Close enough, huh?
Yeah, the good Lord was looking after us today. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Time for us, though, to bring you the AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
If you've ever watched a Winston Cup qualifying session, one thing you would commonly see is the car would complete its laps, water would start spitting out the back of the car. Now what causes this is teams put as much tape on the front end as they can, the water heats up and expands and it has to go somewhere. We'd normally just let it go out a black hose, out on the pavement, out the back of the car. Now what NASCAR has done this year is we have to put a tank in the trunk. It holds about 2 quarts of water. So instead of the water going on the ground now, it goes in this tank and we can just drain it later. Now even though the water on the track may not be dangerous, if a driver sees a stream of water, he's more apt not to go through that corner hard. This is just another way that NASCAR has tried to put everybody on an even playing field, even on qualifying day.
Victory Lane brought to you by The Money Store, where you can refinance your home and consolidate your debts with just one phone call. Glenn Jarrett, that man doesn't have to refinance at all.
No, I'm hoping. I don't know if this is the right time to ask him for a loan again. I've been turned down every time. This is more fun than playing golf, but that had to be nerve-wracking over those last 10, 15 laps, Dale.
Yeah, it was. Man, they told me we had enough fuel, but, you just don't know, and I ran pretty hard trying to catch Jeff, and didn't know if he was going to be able to make it or not. And, then I just wore my front tires out, and I decided to back off and hope that he had to pit, and we were fortunate that he did. But these guys in the engine shop have worked awful hard. We used to not get any fuel mileage, and they've worked awful hard in getting us some fuel mileage.
Well, he's taking a big drink of Coke right now. Dale, we talked to you at the top of the show and said maybe this place owed you one from last year when it looked like you had the thing wrapped up and the engine let go. Might have paid you back.
Well, yeah, if there's any such thing. I don't know if anything owes you or if you get a payback, but been wanting to win here for a long time. Tough racetrack, and just glad we were able to have a good, safe day. Thank God that he gave us a good day to race and a safe day, and thank his crew for a fantastic job they do week in, week out. Our sponsors, Ford Quality Care and Ford Credit, Coke and Fleetwood RVs, Mac Tools. We appreciate all your support. Say hi to Kelly and the kids. Be home soon. This one's for y'all.
All right, also, Dale, the tire, there was a lot of concern. The car stayed pretty tight all day, but that new Goodyear tire served its purpose well.
Yeah, Goodyear did a fantastic job. I was a little concerned knowing we were running that fast the first day, but Wayne Torrance and all the Goodyear engineers assured me that the tire was going to last, and it did a fantastic job.
All right, congratulations again, and I think he can wait the plane on me now. We'll be on for another hour, but he's got some more things to do.
I bet he does. For a man who had DNFs, did not finish the last 4 races in the spring here. Well, he's in victory lane today. But who would have thought that guy wouldn't have been? I mean, Jeff Gordon led 375 of 400 laps. He didn't lead 25 laps. And Steve, he just is not in victory lane.
And he's hot right now, just trying to get some fluids in his body. Jeff, what a tremendous race you ran.
Man, that's a great run. Great race car, great race team today. And that's a tough way to finish third, I can tell you that. But, hey, that's the way life works, You just go out there and you run as hard as you can and get what you can get. And we're happy with the third. When they dropped the green flag, you asked me if I was going to finish third. I said, hey, that'd be a great day. But, as dominant as the car was, it just wanted to get out there in front and lead. And, it just kept getting better and better and better the older the tires got. I got to commend Goodyear for a great tire. They brought a great tire, and our car really adapted well to it. But great race for the DuPont Automotive Finish, Chevrolet, and this whole team, and we're real proud of it.
Jeff, how disappointing is it, as great as you guys were, great in the pits all day long, to have to come down that pit road just 25 laps from the finish?
Well, it didn't bother me too much until I realized that the other 2 guys didn't have to come down pit road. I really thought if we were coming with 10 to go or however many it was, that everybody was going to have to come. And, it was pretty disappointing when I looked at my mirror and I realized, and I came on the radio, I said, those guys aren't going to have to stop, are they? That was frustrating because we had such a great car and we did all we could do to get to victory lane, but that doesn't always mean you're going to get there.
All right, great run. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Jeff Burton and Frank Stoddard gambled. You guys nearly came up to win. Your best career finish, your second. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We had a long way to come. The X-Side Ford drove real good in race trim. We struggled a lot getting it to qualify, as everybody knows, but the car was really good all day and got a little bit tighter at the end than we anticipated, but the light 24 car, he may have gotten a little tighter than he wanted to also, and a 6 got looser. So sometimes you guess wrong and sometimes you guess right.
This has been kind of a turnaround for you. You guys have struggled a lot this year. How big of a confidence booster is this for you?
Well, we throw out qualifying. It's a real big confidence booster. This is the 3rd week in a row we finished in the top 10, and we just want to get our consistency back. Getting, if you can get back where you can run in the top 7 or 8 every week, then you can get your wins, you can get your points like you need to be. And that's what we're looking to do.
Was the fuel pressure gauge starting to bounce a little bit?
I don't even look at it anymore. If they tell me I can go, I can go. They tell me to look at it, but if looking at it doesn't do any good, it's going to run out or it's not going to run out.
Congratulations, Jeff Burton, 2nd place today in Dover.
We talked about Jeff Gordon leading 375. 6 drivers combined to lead the other 25 laps today. Now the Haviland Point recap brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy, and that's how the numbers will look heading on to Richmond International Raceway, 1 weekend away. Awfully tight. Ricky Rudd had himself a solid day today, coming home 6th. He's the subject of our Home Depot driver profile. Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. Ricky Rudd started his NASCAR career in 1975. He's driven for some of the greatest car owners in the business. But now, as an owner-driver, he's finding his one-car team to be a small fish in a big pond.
The amount of money that's taken each year, the amount of money it's escalated over the years to stay competitive in Winston Cup racing. I guess I didn't calculate that. That's somewhat of a surprise. And with that, the employee situation, I guess in any business you go through, it takes a while to get to find out who your key loyal employees are. And it's great for the employees because their salaries right now are escalating tremendously. And if a guy has a chance to, somebody starts a 2nd or 3rd team up and they call an employee up, one of ours, and says, hey, we'll double your salary, are you interested? I can't really blame our guys. I'll pat them on the back and wish them well, but I guess I didn't anticipate that. I didn't see the multi-car expansion taking off as it has here. I didn't see that in '94.
Rudd's single-car operation forces him to maximize resources and technology to stay competitive with those multi-car teams.
A good example of the way Roush is doing it right now. Every time he goes to a racetrack, his cars have been tested at that event. Well, we got 7 test dates, and we've got to use them a little more wisely. We have to do things like at the Winston, we have to choose the Winston race to do some experimental R&D because we just don't have that many test dates. So it's simple. You know what you got to do to stay in the sport and to be competitive in the sport. There's a difference in staying in and being competitive. And I'm a very competitive person. I'm not going to participate if I don't think we have a chance at winning. So, our future is also to expand.
Why don't we take a look at the finishing order today and see who finally came home where. Good solid runs for all of those. And again, Jeff Gordon comes home 3rd today after leading 375 of the 400 laps. Good effort. Ricky Rudd, Buckshot Jones is there. John Andretti had a good day, and Rick Mast.
Rick Mast, that's the one I was going to point out, ran in the top 5 most of the day today, ends up 11th.
Look at old Darrell. DW came home in 20th. He's kind of persevered.
Jeff Bodine, the tire tester, got lapped several times. Thought he was going to have a better day than he did.
Now, Jeff was 4 laps down at the finish. Kevin LePage, Ward Burton had to make that late pit stop. Kenny Irwin ran well, then had to make a series of pit stops late in the day.
Then Kenny Wallace, 40th there, had a tire go down going into turn 3, head on into the wall, walked away.
Then you got guys like Benson, Petty, and LaJoy. Here you come, spend the whole weekend at Dover getting set. You go, you run your 9 laps. Race starts at 12:10. By 12:19, you're on the way home. Well, an interesting day. Gordon dominates, but today it was Jarrett who got the win. Buddy, and for Dick Bergman, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns, I'm Eli Gold, congratulating Dale Jarrett. Goodbye from Dover, Delaware.